Need for Speed has been EA's COD for over 20 years, but the game's golden age has already passed. First off, when did this golden age begin? Well, this officially started with the first Need for Speed Underground game back in 2003, over 10 years ago. Whilst Underground is not the best game from the golden years, it is the game regarded to have started the golden age. Need for Speed Underground is a complete reboot of the franchise, going from a racing sim to an arcade racer. The reason to this being the first game of the golden age is how it was the first game to have many key parts of Need for Speed games to date. The biggest one being customization. Underground was the first game that allowed the player to fully customize their own car, with large amounts of visual customization that allowed the player to make the car their own. The next game to come in this golden age would be Need for Speed Underground 2, a sequel to Underground. This game would ultimately improve on what Underground added to the game, with the adding of SUVs for racing and one of the biggest changes to the franchise to date, the first ever open world Need for Speed game. Open world has been in nearly every single game since then. This game would also be the first highly story-driven game. Whilst Need for Speed Underground had a story, the game wasn't really driven by it, making Underground 2 the first fully driven game in the franchise. This would also be a common trend in the rest of the golden age. This game would become one of the best Need for Speed games in the franchise, with Underground up there as well. The game that would become the best-selling game in the franchise and the most highly regarded game in the series would also be the high point of the golden age. Need for Speed Most Wanted 2005. This game would continue the trends of the past two games, building upon the customization and the open worlds of the past two games. This game would get rid of the SUV type of racing in what would be a smart move. This game would also bring back the police to these games, but making them unplayable. This game would have the best AI police known to the franchise, with each stage of the police getting harder and harder as you play through the game, matching the competitive skills of your own abilities. This game would also bring back story to the table. This game would completely rebuild a new story that would become one of the best stories within a Need for Speed game. This story would be a great example of what a Need for Speed story should be. The story does the best, giving you the best car in the game used for a few races and then takes it away from you, becoming a great driving force of the game, driving you to beat the game and get your car back. This story was also not extremely pushed on you. Most of the time you'd just be racing and grinding to go up a certain list of top tier AI drivers to get to the top. This game was great, and the numbers prove it, with it selling over 16 million copies of the game.
Okay, I'm down.
The final game within the golden age would be Need for Speed Carbon. This game is a sequel to Most Wanted, picking up where Most Wanted left off. It has a beginning that is nearly the same as Most Wanted, giving you a taste of the best car and then taking it away from you. But instead of having the ability to get it back, it gets totaled, and you have to re-beat all the crews to earn back what you left behind years past. This game was really lacking from what were the great games of before, reusing nearly everything that made Most Wanted great, but not really improving it. This game made it so you made your own crew to rule the streets and go up against other crews in the area. The best thing about this game is its customization, being the best type of customization within a Need for Speed game. It used the old type of customizations but added in more customization by allowing you to adjust the size of said parts, making the spoilers wider or larger or taller, things along those lines. But apart from that, Carbon was the odd one out, not really improving over what the other games gave. As of recently, the franchise has been showing a massive turnaround. After the disappointment that was Need for Speed Most Wanted 2012 to the fans of the original Need for Speed Most Wanted, both Black Box and Criterion Games left the scene and moved on from Need for Speed. Ghost Games was formed in 2013, jumping right into the games and taking the franchise back to its golden age, or what it could have been, making Need for Speed Rivals, which was a rushed 6-month project that EA wanted Ghost to have done before the end of 2014. In 2015, Ghost Games released the game Need for Speed Most Wanted, going back to the drawers of what were the best games of the franchise. And continuously listening to fans, they are continuously improving on what they've got. But will they be able to bring the franchise back to the original golden age? Back to the strong ties that the games used to have? Only time will tell.